So today I'm going to do a video review of Bruce Rivers talking about why Andrew and Tristan Tate's Real World app was removed from Google and Apple. There's significant evidence, and it's proven that it's a scam. And not only that, it's a Ponzi scheme geared towards recruiting children. I've made a video on this before, which did pretty well. But one of the some of the feedback that I get from the Andrew Tate underwear sniffers is, "Oh, you only have 250 subscribers. What do you know?" Well, Bruce Rivers has 1 million subscribers. So what does that tell you? That means that a lot of people think he's super reputable, which he is, and we're going to let him discuss the evidence and go from there.
Episode is about Andrew Tate and the real world, sorry. Here's the thing. I have not made any bones about whether I like Andrew Tate or not. Whether I like him or not is irrelevant because I really don't care for him.
I'm glad he says this because I always have to, clarify this. I don't do and say the things because I don't like the Tates. I just follow the evidence. I relentlessly follow the evidence in their case, and the evidence points to that they're human traffickers, pimps, pedophiles, and ex-drug dealers.
But I really dislike his message. That you shouldn't get a job 9 to 5. You should not fall into the trap of get rich quick. Guess what happens when you cut out the hard work? Guess what happens? You shortcuts. You wind up not doing the things you need to do to make life solid. And when you're not doing that, you're falling into a trap of believing a snake oil salesman. And what do I mean?
Oh, there you go. So he's already calling Andrew Tate a snake oil salesman. Do you think a reputable lawyer with an impeccable reputation that's highly respected in his field is just going to make these statements, like outlandish statements, without finding the facts and evidence first? I mean, I'm the same way. If Andrew and Tristan Tate were completely innocent, I'd be making videos every day that they're innocent, but they're clearly not innocent whatsoever. And they go after young, confused men, and now they're not even going after men, they're going after children.
What do you mean by that? Well, anybody that has something that seems too good to be true, guess what? It probably is. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about what a Ponzi scheme is and what a pyramid scheme is.
Dude, that's actually insane.
I got another client just last month. That's what took me to 5K.
That's what took me to 5K. I made 5K last month. Guess how much 5K is a month? 60 grand. You know what? You can get a different kind of job for well over 60 grand.
Again, 14,000, made 52,000 out of it.
Everybody in the real world is making money. The largest benefit to the real world is direct access to professors.
Professors. Are they real professors?
I would bet my life they're not real professors, and I've heard from numerous sources that they actually have a person that hypnotizes you. I mean, what's next? What other schemes will the Tates come up with to get all your money? They're going to hypnotize you to send your bank account information to them so they can rob your bank accounts.
By a millionaire.
That answer your questions. They give you everything on a silver platter.
It may be impossible to not make money if you follow
It's impossible to not make money.
Yeah, sure.
what they say.
So the real world really gave me a sense of brotherhood.
It's a community.
People.
Transgender. It's made very, very cool through the media.
Sense of brotherhood. Let's talk about that for a second. When you have young guys who are looking towards the future, guess what they are? The people who are following Andrew Tate are vulnerable guys. Every last one of them. Because
Typical Tate fashion, Andrew and Tristan Tate preying on the vulnerable. How did they make all their money? They weren't rich from being kickboxers. So they lied to women, they trafficked women, they put women on webcam so they could profit. They stole money from them because they said the money was being taxed and took up to like 60-70% of the profit. And then they created the Real World and the War Room, which is a complete scam. It's been proven by CoffeeZilla and Jordan Welch. And the apps are being removed from Google and Apple. So what does that tell you? Do you think that Google and Apple would remove those apps for no reason and open themselves up to lawsuits? No. But this is what the Tates do. Everything they do is a scam. The Las Vegas casino is anything but an actual casino. You walk in, it's a dive. They have poker joker machines all over the place. The machines are rigged for you to lose 92% of the time, even sometimes 95% of the time. And then when the patrons finally won, the employees of the casinos beat them up, robbed them, and took the money. And that's one of the main reasons why the casinos were closed down. But this is typical Andrew and Tristan Tate behavior.
Guess what? If they had their own Bugatti, they wouldn't need his Bugatti. But they're vulnerable. And in this young community, it's a community. Community of what? You know, how did he make the bulk of his money? He made it off the backs of women. Exposing themselves on OnlyFans or online sex rooms and whatever, and conning men.
Yeah, that's all you ever hear from the Tates, that they're one big family. Well, here, this is what I urge all the people that have real world memberships. Don't pay your $49.99 and see how fast you're kicked out of that family.
Into spending money. That's how they made their money. They're not providing an incredible service to the poor or to the needy or to the masses. They're just grab. We'll talk a little bit more about that, the underlying purpose of the organization in a second.
That are there for you to
Help each other. We're only there for one thing, and that's to make money.
You hear that last line? That line, we're only there for one thing, and that's to make money. If your sole purpose is to make money, you're empty. You're absolutely empty. If that's all you give a shit about is making money, you got to be balanced, as I see it. But just making money alone is an empty pursuit. And look at the amounts here. The amounts here aren't even that much.
The Real World is now posted on their own platform and his own app now. Since downloading the Real
Oh, the Real World's on an app. It's on a platform. It's on Google. It's on app.
Yeah, they make it a lot easier to steal your money now. It's an app now. It's much easier to steal your money.
Oh, wait a second. No, it's not. It got pulled from Google and Apple.
Addicted to it. I can work comfortably out of my laptop and travel across the world.
Building your own business is very much like
All right, I'm not going to play any more of that because he doesn't need more advertising of his stupid program. But one of the things they teach you about is multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing. You know what that is? That's a pyramid scheme. If you have a business and the overriding driving force of the business is not the business itself, but it's recruiting people to get into the business, that's a pyramid scheme. To start their...
Oh, look at that. And one of his big, it's a pyramid scheme. That's Justin Waller's part of that pyramid scheme. Sterling Cooper is part of that pyramid scheme. And the Tates are part of that, obviously, part of that pyramid scheme. So, all these young people are flocking to them like they're gods and they have all the answers to your problems. Meanwhile, they're pushing a criminal enterprise, which is a pyramid scheme.
Program. You pay $50 a month, and one of the driving forces is to get on TikTok, and you guys have seen all these things on TikTok, on YouTube, and in these videos are highlights of Tate's best moments, for lack of a better word, and then the pinned comment is how to get into or a link to the Real World. But the issue here is, so they're trying to get you to get hooked, and one of the guys on here just says, I'm absolutely hooked, I'm addicted to this. The real issue, and this is why I think it's been taken down from Google and Apple, is they're targeting kids.
He's only 13, but he's...
Oh, look at that. They're targeting kids. And not only are they targeting kids, but they admit it in their commercials for actually their ads on YouTube that one of the, 13-year-old kid, 12-year-old, a kid that's not even of consent to use a debit card or a credit card is joining up for this, probably stealing his parents' credit card to join the Tate's Real World. And it's anything but the Real World. But what else would you expect from the Tates? I mean, they're not even man enough to interact with adults. Now they're going after children to get their $49.99 a month.
Already making $10K a month.
He's on to make over $15,000 as he's 15 years old.
16 years old.
He trains 7 days a week with aspirations of becoming a world-class boxer.
He just turned 6 years old and he wants to become a boxing champion just like Andrew is. He already has a six-pack.
They're targeting young kids, they're targeting young adults, and all men. Now keep in mind, when he was making money on OnlyFans and the webcams, he was making, $300,000-$400,000 a month. or more. Now on this platform, he was making, I think at the height, I think they might have had, I think I read somewhere 220,000 subscribers at $50 a month. How much is that? That's over $1 million a month. But how is he making his money? He's not making his money any other legitimate way other than just conning the shit out of these people and selling them shit that they...
I say this all the time. They weren't rich as kickboxers. They manipulated women to work on webcam. They stole the proceeds from the women. Then they started to scam Real World, and they started to scam War Room, pushed by Justin Waller, who goes around telling kids that, it's better than a college education, and don't worry, we take payment plans for the $5,000, all because he's getting a kickback from all the memberships that he sells. And this is just typical Tates. They did not earn a penny of the money that made them super rich. All they do is scam. All they do is lie. All they do is con. That's the real world that they live in.
You can get from pretty much anywhere else for free.
Presented with is just super basic. It's clearly aimed at beginners, particularly young people. And the problem with that is a lot of that basic information is available for free on the internet. You just have to know where to look, and a quick Google will actually tell you exactly what you need to know.
The Real World is marketed as a global community of like-minded individuals striving to acquire an abundance of wealth. And this is created by Tate, the notorious British-American influencer, who, despite facing charges in Romania of rape, human trafficking, and forming an organized crime group.
Here's how to make over 100 ad creatives in just minutes by using artificial intelligence. First things first, we're going to have...
To sexually exploit women retains a large following among young men and boys worldwide. Guys. Now, I'm not asking for anything from you young guys. Honestly, I'm not. Just watch, and learn. But guess what? I wasn't the smartest guy in school by any stretch. And I'm not the smartest guy that walks into a room. But what I do have is drive. I have determination. And I have a sense of self-direction. I know where I want my life to go. I'm not going to let life happen to me. I'm going to make my life happen. And what is my philosophy been all along? What's the one word that I've used in almost every episode? Build. You can build on yourself. Get knowledge. Let's say you do this online course. Let's say you start to make a little bit of money. And all of a sudden, his thing goes downhill. And you were...
I say this all the time. One of the reasons why the Tates and Justin Waller try to convince young people that education is no longer needed is so that you're always dependent on this app, and they always have a steady stream of money coming in for the rest of their lives. So if you don't get college educated or you don't have a trade and you have to depend on this app, you always have to give them your money. And what if, if they upgrade it and they charge more money, then they're constantly have money coming in. They don't care about you whatsoever. And you cannot pay somebody to skip the process. If you want to have a business, you're going to have to start at the bottom. You're going to have to go through the process, the pain, the suffering, the ups and downs. You can't pay the Tates or Justin Waller to skip the process.
Making your money on getting people into his program. Guess what? First of all, he is going down. But guess what happens? Then your way of life just all of a sudden collapses. And what do you have to fall back on? And now do I sound like a fucking dad? Why do I sound like a dad? Because I am a dad. And I'm worried about you guys. I'm worried about guys who think that there's a get-rich-quick scheme. There is a get-rich scheme, and guess what that is?
Word.
Get some skills. Get some skills. Whether it be, and you don't have to go to college necessarily. If you do, and you become a doctor or a lawyer.
It's another thing. The Tates say that college education is worthless. Justin Waller always says that. Well, tell that to all the judges, doctors, lawyers in this country. The Elon Musks of the world. You can never be too educated. You can never be smart enough. And all these guys do is dump on education. You know why? Because they want you to be dependent on them so they can get your money.
Or you become, whatever you want to become, an accountant or an engineer. But even if you don't do that, there's 1,000 different things you can do. And you can become somebody. Remember what I said, build on your relationships, build on your education, build on your financial future, build on every part of your life to create a balanced life. Not this bullshit about, one of the things that he talks about is the matrix and the 9 to 5, and you don't want to be part of that. You're either rich or you're broke. And, and that's such a false premise. It absolutely is. You find something you're good at it and make that your passion. What?
Oh, that's another lie that the Tates and Waller try to tell people. Oh, you don't need to be passionate. It's just about money. You know why? Because they want you to buy their apps. They want you to buy their stupid courses where, Justin Waller finds the tightest pants he can find and struts around the room like a peacock trying to, exuberate like he has this confidence. It's all fake. He has no confidence whatsoever the way that guy carries himself. It's a facade.
Whatever it is. I didn't find my passion for law until a little bit later. I didn't become a lawyer until I was 31. You realize that? That's kind of crazy when you think about it. Because I was in another career and had some family shit happen to me. And, but I just kept at it. I kept at it and kept at it and kept at it. And guess what? Because I did that, because I became a lawyer, and because I fucking became good at it, because I like what I do, and I really like helping people. I mean, I had 3 kind of phases in my professional life. I got out of college with a business degree and I was a sales guy. I really hated that. But before that, I drove an ambulance and I used to help people every day. I really loved that. I'm back to helping people on a regular basis and I love that. But like I said, I wasn't the greatest student, but because I went along and did what I did, I tried a case a year ago. And on Tuesday, we're having a mediation on this case. Big, huge case. Young, very nice kid, was at work, burned, and we got a $35 million judgment. But because I did what I did, I put myself in a position to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So I could be there for that guy. And now we're great friends, and he's just a fantastic guy. And we're hopefully going to put a bunch of money in his pocket because he deserves it. So you're helping somebody. And my fee is going to be substantial. I wouldn't have that.
Yeah, he probably gets 33% of that, so that's a nice payday for Bruce, and he deserves it. He worked for it. He worked for it the honest way. He didn't scam anybody. He provided a service, and he got paid. And you heard what he said. He started from the bottom, and now he's rising to the top. Everything, the Tates will try to make it seem like you could put a little bit of work in and you're going to get rich off the real world and beat the 9 to 5. Anything you do is work. Whether you're a YouTuber, whether you have a regular job, you have to put the work in. You can't skip the work. It's impossible.
That opportunity, you know what? And the first time I applied to law school, did I get in? I didn't get in. But I kept at it. I kept at it. Part of the matrix. There's no fucking matrix. There's a world out there, a real world, not the fake world that Andrew Tate's trying to sell. There's a real world out there. And if all you're doing is making money online and just you're just in your computer, if that's all you're doing, that's an empty existence. And I don't want to badmouth anybody else that's making money online, but if that's all you're doing, you're not helping people. You got to help people. That's just my own personal philosophy. The system, Matrix, wants you to remain poor, weak, alone, and complacent. Understand that in about 5 to 10 years' time, you will either be rich with unlimited money, which is just bullshit. Nobody has unlimited money, with unlimited options, or you will be broke, slaving for social credits. Do you want to escape or not? Bullshit. That is such a absolute farce. Mm-hmm. But that's a sales pitch, right? For his course. So I almost look at this episode as kind of a public service announcement, because look where he is. If you're going to follow his example, where the fuck is he? He's under the watchful eyes of the Romanian court, and he's looking. We're going to do an episode coming up on the indictment, and it's a huge indictment. It's like over 300 pages. Or right around 300 pages.
Oh, wait, you heard that Tate underwear sniffers who always say, where's the evidence, and all the Tate bot accounts? Well, they got 300 pages of the evidence. I know, according to you guys, the evidence doesn't exist, and every time you're presented with the evidence, you're like, oh, that's not the evidence.
Like that. And it's insane. All the different shit that's listed in there it is a plethora of stuff. And if they can prove even half of it, see you later, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. So my advice to you is don't follow somebody who's on their way to prison. I mean, I don't think you can get any more simple than that. Everything about that course, everything about Andrew Tate for that matter, is all about the short money or fast money. And it's all like part of it's AI, doing as little work as possible. And I told you it was affiliated marketing. Now, Ponzi, you know what a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is where I take your money and I say I'm going to invest it, and then I promise you a certain return. Now I pay you back, but I pay you back with somebody else's money, and it's just a shell game. You're just and this is really along those lines, and they're really.
There you go. You heard it from a reputable attorney with an impeccable reputation that this is a Ponzi scheme / pyramid scheme. So does Bruce have any reason to lie? I mean, I know you guys say I don't have enough subscribers to tell the truth, but Bruce has 1 million subscribers. So let that sink in.
Illegal. And so I want you guys to know that there is no shortcut. And guess what? If you decide on a profession, if you decide on, I decided on criminal defense. And I built over 25 years. And sometimes it wasn't fucking easy. Sometimes I had months where I was broke. And sometimes I was fine. But overall, it was a labor of love. And I have something solid that I can look back on now. Years worth of practice. I have stories. How many stories can you tell about being behind your fucking computer? Oh, I drop shipped this headphones that were $17.99 in China, and I got people to pay $49 for it here. I mean, what a bunch of idiots. Is that a great story? Or how about I'm sitting there 1 minute, my client's looking at 25 to life, and the next minute he's bawling his eyes out because I just saved his ass and he's walking away a free person. Or you talk about how you had this interaction and it's so tense in the courtroom and you think your client's going to beat the shit out of the prosecutor and you don't say anything about it. And all of a sudden he says, if it's a guilty verdict, I'm jumping over this table. I'm going to whoop that prosecutor's ass. I mean, they make movies about this shit. You know what I mean? I'm in the fucking movie. I love it. I love it. Luckily for that prosecutor.
Well, according to the Tates, Tates and Waller, passion doesn't matter. Well, here's a passionate guy doing what he loves, making a lot of money. He just settled the case for $35 million and about to get a 33% of that $35 million. Doesn't have to worry about his door getting kicked in the middle of the night and being taken to jail and having everything they ever worked for taken away, like the Tates and hopefully Waller pretty soon, because Waller pushes this garbage on young people too. So he deserves whatever the Tates get. Justin Waller.
It was an acquittal. And when you get an acquittal, I'm telling you, no online bullshit can match that feeling. That is just, you just walk out of there, all your hard work has paid off. You saved somebody's life. I've had cases where my guy absolutely killed somebody. But, it wasn't a matter whether he actually did it or not. It was, legally. And the reward you get from helping somebody, and what I mean about that particular case, my client was helping escort somebody out of a bar, and the guy wriggled back because he was drunk, and the manager of the bar asked him to get him out, and he tried to punch my client in the head. He pushed him, and then he fell back and hit his head, slipped on the ice, and it was 5 days later he died, right? So we had a trial on that. Prosecutor tried to say it was intentional murder, which was just absolute bullshit. It was all on video. Jury came back in less than a half hour, and they said they wanted to punch the prosecutor in the nose. I shit you not. And, talking to this old codger who was on the jury, that's what I'm talking about. That's life. That's the real fucking world. Because I did the work I did in that case, he was still able to parent his kids. He kept his job on the railroad. He went to a Denver Broncos game the very next week after that, and he sends me a picture of he and his kids saying thank you. There is no greater reward than doing that good deed. I want you guys to learn about life and to know that there is no quick fix. Develop meaning in your life. You become an asset to everybody around you. If all you're doing is scamming people, which is what Andrew Tate fucking does, people know it, and they stay away from you. So, build. I guess that's my message for today. Build. Stay away from this kind of crap. There's a reason that Google and Apple took them off their platform. Of course they did. I mean, he's got a lot of people that, you know, are sucking each one of his balls. You know, I mean, I'm sure they don't even taste that good.
I hope
They're
not,
gross.
Bruce.
So, my point is, build, be a better person to everybody around you, and grab the fucking life. Just grab life by the balls and fucking go. Okay, I've said my piece. I'm very passionate about this because I want you guys to succeed and succeed the right way and not have to have anybody looking over your shoulder or whatever. So this is Bruce Rivers, criminal defense lawyer, board certified.
So there you have it. You know, Bruce Rivers is telling the truth about the Tates, what the real world app is, a Ponzi scheme / pyramid scheme, targeting children. He has no reason to lie and put his reputation on the line. I've made a video on it before, and the video did do pretty well. But again, Bruce Rivers just reaffirms and confirms what I was saying, and basically vice versa. And he has 1 million subscribers. So what does that tell you? He's a reputable person that people believe in and have confidence in. So I just hope a lot of people see the evidence for what the Tates truly are, and they're human traffickers, they're pimps, they're pedophiles, and they're ex-drug dealers who target children and target women and target the weak, and they deserve to be in prison, and that's exactly where they're going to end up going.